Good morning. Hello and welcome. So, this is how to boost your energy, reduce stress, and feel great the yogi way. I'm Sarah Beth from SarahBeth Yoga, and I promise that you can reduce your stress. That's what we're doing, right? Boost your energy, reduce your stress, and feel great without adding an extra cup of coffee to your day. So if you stay to the end, I'll teach you 3 easy tips to increase your energy and reduce your stress, the stress that's been draining you the yogic way. So what I want you to do today is just pay attention, remove your distractions, and take notes so you can get the most out of this video. Before we begin, hi, I'm Sarah Beth. I'm the owner of SarahBeth Yoga. I'm a wife, a mother to 2 4 and 6-year-old boys, and a business owner. I teach yoga to over 1.5 million yogis all around the world. And thank you so much for inviting me into your practice. Now, if you're like most people, you've been feeling sluggish, tired, and drained. And if you're like me, then an extra cup of coffee feels like a Band-Aid that comes with jitters, anxiety, headaches, and sometimes even a nap. But imagine if you didn't need that extra cup of coffee. Imagine if you could wake up feeling refreshed, energetic, and excited for your day without those peaks and crashes. Well, it's not as hard as you think. Today, I'm going to tell you how to boost your energy without that caffeine so that you can feel incredible and ready to take on your daily challenges. So, let's get started. This is why you need to focus on momentum and not motivation when it comes to moving your body. So when you feel like moving your body is probably when you need to move it most. When you feel like you don't want to move your body is when you need to get up and actually do it. But the problem is the mythical motivation cycle. The motivation cycle is when you say, I'll do it when I feel like it. When you say, I'll wait until I really, really feel like it, and then I'll do it. But you don't want to wait until you feel like doing it because motivation is a crutch. You don't need motivation to get moving. And if you wait for motivation to move you, you might never get it done. I know we've all been stuck on the couch before, right? If you begin doing it anyway, you'll ignite your momentum cycle. The momentum cycle actually moves where the motivation cycle doesn't. The motivation cycle is this myth where you think, I'll wait until I feel like doing it, and then you never end up actually doing it. Or maybe there is that day where you wait until you feel like doing it, and then you really feel like doing it for a second, and then that's gone. But the momentum cycle is you saying, I'll wait until I feel like doing it. I'm going to do it anyway. You do it. You feel good. Now you've given yourself evidence that when you do it, you feel good. So then you tell yourself, I'm not going to wait until I feel like doing it anymore. I'm just going to do it. So you want to use momentum, not motivation. Now, a big tip I can give to you is to repeat your first step out loud until you do it. So if you know that you need to get up off the couch and roll out your yoga mat and turn on a yoga video, and it just seems like there's a lot of things going on there in order for you to actually do the thing that you want to do, then give yourself that first step. What is that first step? Get up. Like to get up off the couch, get up. So then repeat that to yourself out loud until you do it. Get up, get up, get up, get up. And then you get up. Oh, you did it. Now what's next? Unroll the mat, unroll the mat, unroll the mat. And this can also help if you get distracted easily, is telling yourself that first step until you actually do it. And then the next step until you actually do it. And the next step until you actually do it. Now, if you don't use it, you lose it. And yoga is a really great way to use it because yoga, the physical practice of yoga, moves your body through all of its planes of movement, front to back, side to side, and rotational and twisting. And you could do all of this movement and all of these planes in just minutes. And that's why I say even 5 minutes of yoga a day is better for you than 1 hour once a week. Because if you can move your body in all of its planes of motion and movement in just minutes a day, every single day, and infuse that into your body every single day, you will increase your momentum, your mobility. You will impact your blood flow, your lymphatic drainage, improve your digestion, stimulate muscle, provide more oxygen to your brain. I mean, really, all of this is working together to boost your energy by essentially oiling the machine. So you can raise your energy levels by moving your body, and don't wait for motivation to move you. Now, the tip number 2 is to breathe. This is why you feel dull or drained or overwhelmed and out of control. The key is your breath, because your breath is energy. In yoga, breath control is just as important as the physical pose. And if you want to learn more about that, I have a video called The Yoga Philosophy on my YouTube channel and in the SarahBethYoga app, where I talk about all the tenets of yoga. And breath control, just as important as your physical posture. It's called pranayama. That means breath control. And prana in Sanskrit means life force or energy. So you're controlling your life force or your energy when you control your breath. Now, there are 3 breathing techniques that I can teach you right here and now that can help you with very specific instances in your day-to-day life. You can also practice them on your mat in yoga so that it's easier for you to apply them off your mat in your day-to-day life. The first one is when you're feeling overwhelmed with emotion or stress, like you cannot do or think of anything else because you are so overwhelmed with emotion or stress. And that technique is called the physiological sigh by Dr. Andrew Huberman. So you can go check this out on his YouTube channel. He has a video on the physiological sigh. He talks about it a lot. I can give you a taste of it here as well. The physiological sigh will immediately shift you from fight or flight to rest and digest. It's amazing how this works. Now, the way that you do it is you take 2 sharp inhales in through your nose and 1 long forced exhale out through your mouth. Repeat that about 3 times. And if you have a really good body awareness, which you probably do because you've been practicing yoga, you may feel about 20 seconds after you do that, a wave of relaxation come over you. And that is you shifting from that fight or flight to that rest and digest. So this is a really great way for you to practice it, learn it, but you can also teach it. Like if you have children who are becoming overwhelmed with their emotion or with their stress. So let's do a couple of physiological sighs together. I'll do one first so that you can see what this looks like and you can hear it. It's 2 in through the nose, sharp inhale through the nose, 1 out through the mouth like this. Now you do it with me. In, out. Second time. Third. And notice how you feel or what you feel. For me, I can actually feel this like wave of relaxation come over my body, and it feels really good. It's especially welcomed when you're in that place where, I mean it, when like you're overwhelmed with emotion or stress and you really can't do much else. So use that physiological sigh, practice that physiological sigh, especially practice it when you don't need it so that you can use it when you do need it. Now, another breathing technique you can use, this one is going to be for short, shallow chest breaths. So if your body has been running on like low grade fight or flight for a long time, chances are you've been breathing with these short, shallow chest breaths. Short breaths, shallow in your chest. So not like these deep belly breaths, but you just catch yourself like in the pantry and you're like, oh, wow, I'm breathing these like tiny little breaths in my chest, or, you know, on a walk, or talking to a friend, or just any time throughout the day. If you notice that you're having these short, shallow chest breaths, then I want you to use the technique of the 3D breath to help transform your breath in that moment. And you're creating even more body awareness and even more of those cues for your body that when you're having short, shallow chest breaths to shift into a 3D breath. Now, a 3D breath is similar to a belly breath. We've talked about a belly breath, right? Where you're breathing and you can feel your belly rise and fall when you breathe because your diaphragm is helping you to get a full torso full of breath. You can use all of your lung in that belly breath. But the 3D breath is like the next level of the belly breath. And the 3D breath is using your whole torso as you breathe, as if you were inflating a balloon on your inhale. Your belly rises and your chest rises at the same time. Your ribs also expand at the same time. And over time, as you practice this, you may notice that your back begins to expand at the same time. So everything all around you, 360, will expand like there's a balloon inside on your inhale, and then slowly come back together and contract on your exhale. I don't really love using the word contract because I don't want you to force it shut on your exhale. You'll just notice that everything comes back together on your exhale as if the balloon was deflating. So it helps to actually take your hands on your ribs here so that your thumb is touching your back. Your thumbs are kind of wrapped around your back and your fingers are wrapped around your front. So you can, underneath your fingertips, kind of feel your belly rise and fall. And in the webbing of your hand, you can feel your ribs expand and your thumbs can feel your back. And when you inhale through your nose, take in a long, deep inhale, nice and slow and deep, and see if you can feel your belly, your chest, and your ribs expand all together. And then see if you can feel all that slowly contract and deflate all together. And keep practicing that for a little bit while I'll tell you more about this 3D breath. Now, when I first started doing the 3D breath, I was so used to practicing just a belly breath that my ribs didn't move. And all it took was practice and continuously doing it over and over again for my body to slowly catch on and for my ribs to mobilize. And then once I got that 3D breath down and everything expanded together and then contracted together, I was practicing it every day for about 10 minutes during a meditation in my sauna blanket. And I noticed that the rest of my day was so calm and so relaxed. And I was like, wow, this 3D breath has a huge effect on your mood and your energy. And it's just a really, really positive and beneficial practice to have. So short, shallow chest breaths, transform them into your deep, smooth 3D breaths. Now, the third breathing technique that I'll teach you today, you probably already know it, is for when you're feeling sluggish, tired, or drained. And that technique is the vinyasa breath. So vinyasa in yoga is Sanskrit for to place in a special way. And what you're placing in a special way is your breath with movement. So it's kind of like this rhythmic breathing technique that can help you get pulled out of your fog. It can make you feel more clear, more energized with a calm focus throughout your day. And when you're doing yoga with vinyasa, you are breathing with your movements. You're also moving your body. You're also using momentum to get everything going. So this is like all of them together. So here's a trick though. You don't have to be on your mat. You don't have to move to benefit from the vinyasa breath. There are times where I and others have told me that you can sit and watch a yoga video. Imagine for some reason you're unable to move your body in this moment and you just watch a yoga video and you breathe along. You will still benefit from that rhythmic breath. Maybe not from like moving your body in all planes of motion, but absolutely you will feel more calm, more focused, more energized, and more clear-headed just by breathing along with the video because you're following the rhythmic breath throughout the video. So in vinyasa yoga, you're flowing one breath, one movement, meaning it'll sound like this. Inhale, mountain pose. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, mountain pose. And so you're just moving one breath, one movement. So almost like half breath, one movement. Inhale, move. Exhale, move. Inhale, move. But those breaths are typically 4 to 6 seconds long. And then at least in my videos, I actually time to make sure that all of the breaths are equal so that you're really moving rhythmically and breathing rhythmically. If you're practicing power yoga, So power yoga are the pink thumbnails on my YouTube channel. Vinyasa yoga are the teal thumbnails on my YouTube channel. In the pink thumbnails, in the power yoga, you may learn a breathing technique called Ujjayi pranayama or ocean breath. And it's the same rhythmic breathing technique as the vinyasa breath, except you're constricting the muscles in your back of your throat as if you were trying to fog up a mirror. So that constriction in the back of your throat, except your mouth is closed and you're breathing in and out through your nose with that same constriction. So it's like a Darth Vader breath. You should be able to hear it. And I don't know if you can hear me right now, but I'll try. Let me swallow first. Okay, ready? Not sure if you could hear that from where you are, but it was basically the same constriction in the back of my throat as if I was fogging up a mirror, but I'm breathing in and out through my nose. It sounds very much like a Darth Vader breath. It's not more powerful the louder it is. It's more that you want to be able to constrict the muscles in your throat as if you were pinching the neck of a balloon. And that way you can actually control how quickly the breath gets released from your lungs or gets put into your lungs. So by controlling that pace, you can slow yourself down and you can slow down your breath. Now, those are both two different ways of doing your vinyasa breath. The Ujjayi pranayama is more of a power breath. It's going to really help to ignite the fire from within you. And the vinyasa breath is a rhythmic breath that you can use to just clear your head, get rid of that fog, get your body moving. Even if you're not moving your body, you will still benefit from your rhythmic breath. So those are three different breathing practices. And that's the physiological sigh for when you're overwhelmed or overcome with emotion and stress. The 3D breath for when you're experiencing short, shallow chest breaths. Again, this could be anytime throughout your day. The vinyasa breath for when you're feeling sluggish, tired, or drained. And I want you to practice your breath of choice, whichever one you think that like would most benefit you right now. Practice your breath of choice for 5 or 10 minutes every day. Infuse it into your day and make it part of a routine. So I do mine in my sauna blanket. Sometimes I do it during meditation. Sometimes it's just a simple vinyasa yoga practice. But what you really want to do is you want to practice this breath when you don't need it so that you can apply it when you need it. Yoga is a really great opportunity to practice your breath control. It's already probably a part of your routine. And it's one of the reasons why you feel so good after you do yoga, because yoga has the breathing cues, the flowing, sometimes the Ujjayi breath or the 3D breath or the physiological sigh are just built into the practice. My Heal collection, my Rise collection, and a lot of my yoga video styles have these videos. Heal and Rise especially do have the physiological sigh and the 3D breath. Now, I'm not a pranayama teacher, but if you are interested in pranayama, you want to look even more into breath control and breath work. You can find that online, you can find it on YouTube, and you can find it through my friends over at Happy Jack Yoga. We've used some of their pranayama. I've done some of his pranayama when I was in India, and it's really amazing how just through your breath, you can change your state. Now let's move on to tip number 3, which is to have a plan. This is why you feel drained just by having too many options or choices. It's called decision fatigue. And just by having too many options, your brain gets tired and chooses nothing. Most people who struggle with energy don't have a plan to help them get into peak state. So to eliminate decision fatigue, you want to limit the number of decisions you make each day. Remember how Steve Jobs wore a simple black turtleneck every single day? Just by creating a plan for your mornings and making those decisions ahead of time, you'll feel more alert and have more energy by having your habits decided for you. Now, as John Maxwell says, successful people make decisions early in their lives and then spend their life managing those decisions. So make your decisions ahead of time when you have the intention of what you want in your life or in your day. And then that intention continues with you just managing those decisions. So something that I do so that I don't have to make decisions first thing in the morning is I set my clothes out the night before. You don't want to rely on your groggy self, or you don't want to rely on your future self. You don't want to rely on motivation self to pick out your decisions for you, to pick out your clothes, to pick out what you're going to do. So the night before, when I'm having my intention for the next day and I know what I'm going to do, and I know whether I'm going to do yoga or I'm going to exercise, I'm going to go to the gym, or I'm like what kind of clothes I want to wear, I set those clothes out then. Otherwise, it's just too easy for future me to wake up in a pair of leggings and a long loose shirt and say, this works. So I set my clothes out the night before. And I also have a routine that I hit every single morning. And it's just what I do because I'm not waiting on motivation. And that routine is that I turn on my sauna blanket immediately, first thing when I wake up in the morning. Then I go brush my teeth. I get dressed in my clothes for the sauna blanket. Then I get in my sauna blanket. Immediately after my sauna blanket, I go take a cold shower. And all of that is before I'm really awake for the day. That's a routine that is just set in stone so that I don't have to think, I can just do. And then my momentum builds from there. If you want to make yoga an easy part of your routine, then you can have your yoga practice pre-selected for you. You can put your yoga mat in a permanent spot or in a ready to go place. And you can select a time of day where you just do it. And for a lot of people, that's first thing in the morning. So to beat decision fatigue, you want to have a plan, or you want to make decisions in advance so that you're not depending on your mood or motivation to get things done. And for those asking about the sauna blanket, I have a little bit more information about that on my Instagram page, and then also on my SarahBethYoga website in the shop page is the sauna blanket that I use every single morning. It is such an amazing mood booster for me personally. So to recap everything that I just talked about, you can increase your energy and reduce your stress by moving your body using momentum and not motivation. Using your breath control to increase your energy and shift your nervous system out of fight or flight, which may have been draining you in the first place. And lastly, have a plan so you don't succumb to decision fatigue. So what if I told you that I had something that would allow you to do all three of those things this new year? It's called the 30-day energy yoga calendar. This has 30-minute yoga practices every day, 30-minute yoga practices every day. This will boost your energy using movement to get you fit and flexible, breath cues to keep you calm and focused, and it's professionally curated with a plan so that you can rest when you need to harness your energy and move when it's time to boost your energy. You'd move your body, breathe, and have a plan so you can start your year energized, fit, and flexible. And yes, it is 30 minutes a day. So many of you have been asking for something like this. Even if 30 minutes a day sounds like, oh my gosh, that's a lot, you will benefit just by breathing along to the videos. You will benefit just by doing the first 5 minutes of a yoga video. And on those days after 5 minutes, you will get that momentum cycle moving. You will start to add on more and more minutes thinking, you know what, just one more flow. Before you know it, you'll start moving and enjoying 30 minutes of yoga every single day. And 30 minutes is not a lot when it comes to an entire day. But even if it does feel like a lot right now, again, 5 minutes makes a huge difference. We begin day one of this calendar on January 1st, 2023 in the SarahBethYoga app, but I'll upload the calendar and all the videos for previewing and downloading on December 31st. So all of your practices for the first 30 days of January of 2023 are pre-selected for you. And if you want, you can always start this calendar on a different date or follow at your own pace. Make it work for you. So if you're ready to start your new year with a 30-day energizing yoga calendar, then click the first link in the description or pin in the comments to join us. And that is the SarahBethYoga app. Now, I want you to comment below to share your tips or what worked best for you when it comes to boosting your energy, or if there was one of the tips today that was just like really mind-blowing that you are ready to implement. Let me know, and have a great day, and namaste.